do just to wet test it is literally shut off those valves, open up here, put a washing machine valve on there,
okay,
fill up the system so that we can fill up each zone just to make sure that there's no leaks, and yeah, that's what we'll do.
Nice.
It'll help flush out the air out of each system. I can do that off to here into a bucket. So
that's clever. Now we've obviously got 5 heads, but we've only got 4 zones. Does that mean we could potentially add a 5th one on at some point in the future if we wanted to?
Shouldn't be a problem.
That's really cool. I might have to speak to the boss about that. Oh, that's a nifty little technique. Is that because you haven't got enough space to get the whole roll back?
Yeah.
Smart. So I've written on here, underfloor heating, zone 3 return, just so that we know. Well, actually it's not for me, it's for if anyone else bought the place. And then we've still got space for zone 4, flow and return.
This is basically a flex 3/4 to 15mm that I get off of a shower pump.
Right.
So I'm just going to use some 15mm push fit pipe to feed that with a boiler fix just to fill up the circuit. Yeah, so once we get down that last piece of floor, I'm going to liven that all up tonight, so hopefully we'll just leave it on, check out the levels, and just look out for any drips or non-drips. Every day just crank it up 1.
1 degree.
Yeah, or 1 turn on the notch.
Right, another sheet of OSB, full fill of PIR underneath. Just because of where this is and was cut, there's only a little lip there. It's enough for me to put a full sheet on, which is fine. I'd have liked a bit more, to be honest, but I'm not going to agonise over it. This is the subfloor to the subfloor. You'll notice here we've got some mineral wool. That's placed on top of the pipes that would be too low to be covered by PIR. So these ones here will get covered by PIR, the ones below wouldn't have done. It's just belt and braces. We've lagged them all. We've now put a bit of PIR on top as well, just in case. There's no airflow really around that area because there are no vents this way. The vents are here and under this way. So, you know, it's fine. We're giving as much airflow as we can and we're protecting as much as we can. It's a bit of a balancing act. So now I can finish cutting the rest of this PIR, get that down, cover it in OSB, and then move on to finishing this chipboard flooring in here. Last little section left here. We've lagged that. Nick had a great idea to put this on here just to protect these pipes, get a nice arc on them, and then pin them down here like this. So I can actually take this off now. There's no need for this to be on here. That's looking really nice. So we're going to, I've cut a piece of insulation like this as well. I think I may need to trim it a little bit more, but it's mostly there. And that little section and we're done. So this is really good here. We've got those clips. There is another little clip just at the tip of my finger there. So the OSB is not touching. These will never rub. Put a little bit of insulation just underneath the pipes as well. Being over the top with it, but this is going to be full of PIR and mineral wool. So it's going to be really, really efficient, which is very nice. So this floor is now almost complete. I just need to screw down the last little section. I need to get a bigger one, slightly bigger one, cut it down. Job's a good one. The floor is finally sealed up. That is a really big relief actually. Not least because I kept slipping and kicking the insulation out. So it's nicely sealed up out the way. I'm going to have a wall socket there, wall socket here, and then an above the counter socket here. So that's all good. Now I can get the chipboard flooring in. Obviously we're going to have counters here and we're going to have a chest freezer here. So we won't actually be, we'll put the board down, but we're not going to be putting underfloor heating along this bit. Nick had a fantastic suggestion to reduce the amount of routing that I had to do. I'm going to cut and infill a little strip here, but what we did is we just cut a channel out of the middle of each of the boards so that they all end the same length, they all start the same length, but it means that I don't have to do any routing lines to get it to come back. So the only routing line that I need to do now is for the return, which you'd have to do anyway, and to get the flow started, because they're gonna come out here, flow this way, and then the return coming in this way. We can then install the system, test it, and then at my leisure I can then come in and I can fill this panel with offcuts, and I can fill that with offcuts, and the same here. But at least this way the underfloor heating portion is done without needing to worry. Glued and screwed it. Again, I didn't film it, it's boring, you guys have seen it, it's dull, so I haven't done that. Nick has been working on all of this here, so this is all looking really nice now. So you can see 3 out of the 4 zones are running in, and we have basically rigged it up just temporarily to the water to test it up into the flow here, and then it'll come out we'll basically drain it out of here with a bucket. We're going to test each one individually, and I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. So we have the flow here, and then it'll loop all the way around and come back here and return in there. That's all ready to go. So I'm just going to drill some holes, and I might start running some pipe for it. That is the underfloor heating pipe run. That is a thing of beauty. That is really, really nice. It's very, very even, whole way along. That's the return pipe. They both go through there, pop up here.
So it's going into all of these zones now.
Yeah. Presumably we'll have to bleed them one by one.
Yep.
So this one's full up because there's nothing there. The water's just filled that straight away, yeah? And then each of those will just slowly rise up as they fill. Presumably, if you were to undo that nut now, would all of the water try to come out from all the other pipes?
Yeah.
There's a really disconcerting sound. You can hear water running. Can't see any of it coming out, but I can hear it in the pipes. So have you only turned open zone 4?
Yeah.
For the minute?
So we've got all of the air out. Right, so that's full of water now.
Cool. Cool.
So we're going to open zone 3 now.
Okay. Yeah, it's a big area. That's clever. That's a lot of pressure, isn't it?
No, it is.
That's where that water's pressurised the air. See, that one's then dropped off. If you remember a second ago, that was completely full high because the pressure was up, but it was full of air.
Right, So all of the air should be out of them now.
Yep. So the system is fully pressurised the whole way around. So now we'll just do a quick visual. Well, actually, we don't even need to do an inspection, do we? We just watch those pressure bars, and they'll tell us. They'll tell us if there's a problem, if they drop off at all.
A picture of them, and then.
Yeah. Right, I am putting down the plywood, which has been dutifully soaked by the rain. I brought it in a couple of days ago, and it's still drying out. It's quite warm in the house, and relatively, well, very stable in here in terms of temperature. A lot of this is actually staining. It's tannin that's kind of come out the wood. And what we're going to be doing with the underfloor heating is we're going to be putting it on kind of a low temperature, 16, 17 degrees, leaving that for a couple of days so it kind of warms through, and then you raise it up one degree at a time. This here, you can see the floor is nice and level. So you get a nice even level here. Once that's screwed down, that's going to be really nice and smooth, that joint, which is perfect. These are the samples of LVT that we're going with. So these are the sizes of them. What I've just done a quick visual check with, and I'll show you how I did it, is because obviously all of this, I don't need to stagger the joints so much on this. This is purely, I don't want to make work for myself. I want to do as few cuts as I can. I want to glue and screw it down and be done with this stage now. I need to take a little L out of here so that this can butt up against there. That helps because it also keeps me further away from this pipe. When I then butt the next 6mm up against it, I can screw down into the edge because it will be, you know, up here. I don't have to worry about this pipe, and it's straight the whole way along, all the way down there. So that's good. What I just checked is that if, just as an unfortunate coincidence, one piece of LVT ended up at the edge of the other, would I be in a situation where I then have two edges of LVT on top of two edges of ply? That would be a real problem. And thankfully the answer is no. And the way that I worked it out is literally by, because I've got two of them, butting one up against the other, taking this one out, walking it along like this, blah, 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 nice and carefully all the way. And when I got to the end, I was left with that, which is the best part of an inch over the ply, which basically means that all of the bits butted up together are wider than the ply itself. Now you can work it out via maths. You can basically work out the width of this and then divide that by 250 and you'll get however many you get. That's another way of doing it. But ostensibly what that means is when I start my crown row of this, if I start with the sheet right in the middle, I'm never going to end up with the sheets at the edge, which is good. This stuff here is loose lay, which means if ever we wanted to change it or we need to change a panel, we can literally just get a suction cup, pull one of them up, slot a new one down. When I'm gluing and screwing, I'm going to be super, super careful that I don't go through any of these pipes. I'm probably going to agonize over this because that's my nature and because this is not a risk worth taking. If there's a quicker way of doing it, it would be super handy to know your thoughts. I don't know if you guys have had experience with this type of floor where it's not a liquid screed going down, but a plywood screed effectively, to avoid drilling through pipes or screwing through pipes. The way I'm going to do it is I'm going to stand here, I'll lay the thing down, I'll draw on where the pipes are, and then I'll go from there. So this is going to be going straight on top of here. That's obviously upside down, but it's going straight on like that. So say I did want to, I don't know, do anything to the floor, I pull one up, if I've drawn lines on there of what's underneath, or if anybody pulled up one of those, they would see exactly where the pipes are, which is super handy. It's going to take a lot longer, but I think it's time worth investing. Let's see how long I last. Certainly in this area, I think it's worth doing. Not sure how easy it is for you to see this. Yeah, you can see it well enough. Got the drawings here of where the pipes run. You can see that's the flow pipe down there, and then the bends here, and then these obviously just run in line as they normally do. What's more important for me, other than kind of this chunk here, I guess, is where these are, so that I know that I can screw in between each of these lines at any point, and I'm not going to puncture any pipe The other thing I've done is I've staggered where I put the lines, so that, say for instance, because the flooring is running this way, if I peel up a bit of floor, you know, there's more statistical chance of seeing it than if I just did all of the lines in the same row. It's just kind of helpful that way. For now, I'm going to start gluing and screwing this down, getting some boards down. Got the building inspector coming today as well. This will be, I'll try and set you up on a time lapse when he arrives, because I know a couple of you have asked what the visits are like, what they look like. So if I grab this and kind of stick this over in the corner or something, I might be able to. Problem is I record on my phone, so I'll see what I can do. I'll see what I can record. Just a little update on where I'm at with this. I have decided to keep doing it. It does make sense. This is the breakfast bar, the breakfast kind of counter. The underfloor heating stops there. That bit's clear, and then it starts up again here. So that's why there's a nice big space there, and I could do whatever I want with the screws. I don't have to dodge them, which is really nice. So making good progress. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I reckon 6, 7 and a bit sheets per row. This is less than a full width sheet, so when I come down here it will probably stop around there-ish. So yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. That's the thing for me. It
gets in your eyes, gets in your face,
gets everywhere. Yeah. Absolutely everywhere. But thankfully, our plumber's been amazing. He's been really helpful. Kind of, you know, part changing over to some. We've had hot running water and heating the entire journey, which has been really helpful.
That's it. And you managed to live here through the entire journey.
Through, yeah, which has been nice.
So let me know what the result is of that. The structural engineer.
I'll speak to the structural engineer.
Just speak to him. As far as building careers go, fine, no worries.
Yeah.
Because you're over and above the installation anyway, but it's just the extra weight that on that there. I imagine it'll be fine because you've got 2 8x3s. Yeah. But just confirm it.
Okay. Yeah, no problem at all.
Brilliant. Thanks, Tom.
Nice one. Thank you very much for your time. Good to see you again.
Stay in touch. Good work.
Thanks very much. Cheers, mate. Appreciate that.
All the best.
I'll take some pictures and I'll give you guys a call when everything is wrapped. Okay, building inspector has just been. You'll have seen that. Hopefully, I don't know if it came out. If it did, fantastic. He was very happy, which is nice. Really helpful to have him as well, because he's an ex-builder, and he's just a nice guy. I've spoken to him loads of times before. He knows a lot and is very happy. He's very pragmatic, which is good. So yes, helpful. I don't know if you saw that. I hadn't realised that, but I need a 30-minute fire door on the garage this way, and I need to fire line the garage as well where I've got timber stud work. That's useful because I didn't know that. That would have been painful having to redo that. Got to check. I'm going to be hopefully glazing this. Got to check with the structural engineer about the weight. Structural engineer is, a helpful guy, so hopefully he'll get back to me quickly. So yeah, a good visit. Almost there. This was all done, including all this for Grand Central Station. Goes the whole way across. I've just done that little patch here, so this bit's all cut out and ready to go in. Drops over that nicely. I've just got to the end of the tube on this, and it's about 4 o'clock, so I think I'm going to stop, hang out with the kids for a bit, and then I'll pick it up tonight for round 2, I guess. That'll all get finished. I'll use as many sheets I've got. I've under-ordered by about 5 sheets. They're coming tomorrow now, the replacements, so I can get that done. through there, around there, clear all of that out, get this done. It's going well though, it is going well, it goes down nice and cleanly, nice and quick. Where that is, where there are joins, can't feel them. I've added extra screws in where I've needed them so that there's no catch. So that's nice and smooth. Alright, I'm going to take a break. So what I've done here, because we've got the service pipes, all of this is going to be behind the counter, behind the cabinets. It was actually super efficient, which I love. I hate waste so much. I was able to, because all of these had the tongue out and this had a groove, I was able to cut this long strip off here, and I was then able to use it here because this side had the groove and that had the tongue, or whichever way around it was, I can't remember. But I basically cut the long strip off there, stuck it on the side, and now the whole floor is done and complete in here. I just need to stick the plywood down on top, which I've now got out there. Right, I've done a little kind of Elmer patchwork of offcuts that I had, and I've traced out the floor. It's actually easier when you've got, I mean, this is a non-standard arrangement of floor, underfloor heating anyway, in a small space. So it's actually easier doing it with offcuts, although it's a bit more faff. It's easier to lift a piece up, mark it, put it back down, etc, etc. And it's still super sturdy and secure. I put a hole around there and continued that piece round, so it's super sturdy. Really nice underfoot. And once the pan is out, you'll have nice toasty feet there. Awesome. The utility room is done as well. That's completely finished. You'll see this in another video. So you got all the flows and returns going out that way. It's all done. It's all done, and they didn't hit a single pipe. All of the plywood is now down. Glued, screwed. I've used this 5-minute polyurethane glue the whole way around. I really rate this stuff. I can't remember how much it costs. It's on eBay. I'll try and post a link to it in the description below. It's just so good. Everbuild is the brand, so it's decent quality brand. It's really good and so much easier to apply than squeezing it out of a bottle and destroying your forearms using it on one of those, unless you're Popeye perhaps. You'll see I've carried on drawing and marking along here where I needed to avoid screwing. This is really nice and secure, and again still very smooth in the gaps. So that is that aspect done. You'll see I've had some plywood delivered because we're going to be putting the ply up on the walls very soon. That'll come up in another video. You'll see that soon. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you found that helpful. And I'm going to pause. I'm going to stop this video here until we are laying out the actual Cardine that we're going to be having down on here. So hopefully you found that helpful. If you did, please do comment, like, subscribe, all of that. And I will see you on the next video.